let's queer up gay culture. 28-year-old O'Shea Sibley stabbed in suspected hate crime at Brooklyn gas station while voguing. Police are searching for a 17-year-old kid they believe is responsible for the stabbing death of a Brooklyn man named O'Shea Sibley. The 28-year-old man was fatally stabbed at a Brooklyn gas station Saturday night in what police are investigating as a possible anti-gay hate crime. Sibley's friend, Otis Peña, conducted a Facebook Live where he said that O'Shea Sibley was dancing, voguing to a Beyonce song with friends at the gas station when a group of men approached them and started to shout gay slurs at them. The anti-gay slurs eventually led to a dispute. Peña, who witnessed the incident, said the argument escalated and one man stabbed Sibley. Peña said he went to Sibley's aid and put pressure on the wound. Police said Sibley was stabbed in the torso. He was taken to a local medical center where he was pronounced dead. Sibley was a professional dancer who was featured in several music videos and also performed at New York City's renowned Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts. Brad Holman Segal, a New York State senator, tweeted about the incident Monday, saying he was, quote, heartbroken and enraged to learn about Sibley's death. Of course you're heartbroken and enraged. This is crazy. And this is happening again. We just did a story right before. You know, this could have been any of us. All right. There are cameras everywhere. There's cameras everywhere in Brooklyn. Okay. There is no reason why they can't find this kid and hold him to justice. This is just crazy, crazy, crazy. I mean, it could have been any one of us that could have happened to.
And just to my point that I made after the last story, I will speak for myself. I always walk around, because I look like a big old lesbian, I always walk around with that thing in the back of my head saying, you know, be careful, remember, look where you are. I go to visit family in Panama City. I am a very different person walking around up in Panama City than I am down here. And
those days of just walking around, walking around and not thinking about that, Cindy, those days are over, Mama. Okay? So what you're feeling makes sense and we should all feel it. Everyone out there, be aware. Yes, be aware. Have your keys in your hand when you're walking to your car. Tell your friends where you're going. Have somebody walk you to your car. That's where we're at right now. I know it sounds freaking crazy, but yes, you have to be aware and look at the exits everywhere you're at. I do. Ask the boys. When I sit somewhere, I have to face the door. Okay? Like I'm going to get a mafia hat on me or some shit. Why I do that? Because I'm afraid.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, this is a fear that person has always faced, or a Jewish person. You know, you work for Jewish community services. I mean, trust me, this thing follows you. You always look over your shoulder. I mean, I've got racist slurs yelled at me on Wilton Drive.
I'm sure
by some old queen, like. You know, racism is not, prejudice is not limited, and prejudice is not just limited to them versus us. A lot of us inside the community have to learn something too.
Yeah, and this is gonna sound silly, but prejudice isn't ubiquitous, but it is everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting to me as I hear all of you talk about the ramifications of how this story digest over you. It is not my experience at all. I have never thought about this in my entire life. And I don't know, in quick summary, if that's white, if that's privileged, if that's male.
All of that. Enjoy it.
Exactly. And in that combination. And I've just never had this experience. And I've been here in South Florida, and you would think in coming to South Florida from a very red Sarasota, and stuff that I did previously, you know, stuff with RuPaul, etc., that you would think that my experience would be different, and it wasn't. And it's interesting to me that I have come and now here 5 years this fall, and this is a minority county. It has beyond diversity, and it's the first time in my life where I feel the pressure of what goes on, like in this conversation.
Right.
I'm hearing lesbians talk about fear. I'm hearing, you know, cultural discrimination issues. Somebody that is black and dancing to Beyonce and their reactions to it. I got one incident. It's been a couple of years, but it got quite a reaction. I was walking down a street here in Fort Lauderdale, and a truck a pickup truck with several guys in it, slowed down and specifically opened a window and leaned out and called me faggot. And it was so breathtakingly shocking to me that first I laughed because it was just so juvenile. But later, as I digested and talked about it in social media, it was a recognition of, wait, this is what everyone is talking about. And this story washes over me from the standpoint of whether we have directly been affected by this or not. And clearly, I hear at the table, directly affected by it. We're all in this. This kid that was killed at this gas station, we're in this.
Right.
One other thing that I would say is I hope maybe in the share of our story and conversation and elevating this and other places that do the same thing, Beyonce, I hope you come out and voice for this, because the kid dies dancing to the music that he loved.
Right.
I hope you will support. We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show, brought to you from Happening Out Television Network. We operate in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ+ community. We educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching us on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the story going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.